taking there, but still be position
I
selected.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley's as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs forward Zach Collins underwent an MRI that right shoulder suffered in the season finale against Detroit. He'll undergo surgery and is expected to recover by the start of the season. UTSA new head coach Austin Clouch off and running, landing Vanderbilt transfer point guard Paul Lewis, and the San Antonio Gunslingers play tonight in the Freeman Coliseum against the Tucson Sugar Soul. Kickoff coming up at the bottom of the hour. Extra Innings with Pledger is next.
This is Extra Innings with Pledger.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. However you may be listening, thank you to all of you, whether that is on 94.1 FM, which, by the way, I'm told any signal issues we had been having over the last week finally fixed. So, got that going for us. If you're listening to SASportsStar.com via the Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you want to be completely interactive, join us on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show like Rudolph Gonzalez, who was in the bullpen saying Viva Fiesta. And it is that time of year. That is right. Fiesta is here. It's a great time of year. Good time to party. April is such a wondrous time this time of year. Plus, of course, all of the great festivities that are just happening around the city. It's so great. So appreciate everybody for rolling through. Fred Villarreal, Frank Boteo, Lloyd D. Everybody, what's going on, my guys? This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. You can always comment on the show on our YouTube channel at sasportsstar.com, or you can also call into the show at any point in time, 210-656-3776, 656 ESPN, if you want to be a part of the show and get in on the conversation. Lots to talk about, whether it's the Cowboys, the NFL draft, but most importantly, Victor Wembanyama had a fantastic interview with Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer. And my goodness, there was so much within that podcast, and it was just incredibly insightful and gives you a glimpse into his personality, it was about an hour long. So if you got a chance to cut out some time, go to YouTube. That's where I pulled it. The YouTube channel for The Ringer NBA. Kevin O'Connor's sit down with Victor Wembanyama is isolated. It is right there. It is fantastic. And there's going to be a lot to get into with that, but I wanted to touch on a couple of other things that are going around, like the NBA play-in tournament, which I know a lot of people aren't a fan of. Initially, I didn't think I would be. It's been enjoyable. It's been a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed the games a couple of nights ago in which you had the Lakers punch their ticket playing the Pelicans. Very, very good game. Came down to the last second. And then the two late games have been kind of the duds. The Warriors playing against the Kings Sacramento just controlled that game. And then the late game last night with the Hawks and Bulls, where DeMar DeRozan, former San Antonio Spurs, shout out, he had his way with the Atlanta Hawks and former San Antonio Spur DeJounte Murray. And maybe, according to what a bunch of people would like, future San Antonio Spur Trae Young. But if that game was any evidence, just like a lot of people are jumping to conclusions about the game that Klay Thompson, nah, I'm good, fam. We can do whatever without him. Okay. I mean, he's still pretty good. He provides a service. Now, is he worth max money? Absolutely not. But would it be a valuable piece to a team that could also provide some veteran leadership? Absolutely. As it pertains to one Trae Young, I mean, DeJounte Murray had himself a game, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Pretty good game for him. 11 of 21 from the field, shot 50%. You like that stat line. Trae Young, on the other hand, he had 22 points, but it was not good. He was 4 of 12 from the field. He was just 3 of 8 from three-point line. Most of his points came from the free throw line, where he was 11 of 13. Did manage to have 10 assists, but was a negative 27 in the plus minus. And I asked Spurs fans, and we'll talk about this coming up, because everybody wants them to make a big move. A lot of people would like them to go get Trae Young. Would you like Trae Young? And I preface the Trae Young thing with, would you like Trae Young, knowing you have to give up unprotected picks, plural, probably pick swaps, and potentially a Devin Vassell? Because they're not going to give Trae Young away. Miguel Martinez says, give us back DeJounte Murray. I mean, it's a possibility, but if they decide to move on from Trae and build around DeJounte Murray, there's really nothing you can do about that. But it's a question that I'd like to ask, and I'll, chime in on the bullpen on our YouTube feed at SA Sports Star in the comment section. Just jump in there and just let me know what you think. You can call in 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I told you yesterday, I don't think that the Spurs are going to be making that kind of a move this offseason. I don't think so. I think the moves they make will be smaller moves. I think if they make a trade, it will be for, let's say, a Derek White and reacquiring him, in terms of the fact that they just paid Drew Holiday a ton of money. They're already paying Kristaps Porzingis a ton of money. They just maxed out Jaylen Brown, and they're maxing out Jason Tatum. Like, they've got a ton of money invested into the Celtics team. And especially if it falls short this year, I could see them potentially moving off of Derek White's contract, as he has just 1 year left on it after this. And maybe you could do a sign and trade with an extension. That could be a way that you could go if you are the San Antonio Spurs. But I truly believe in my heart of hearts that they're going to be smaller secondary moves that the Spurs made. They're going to bring in shooters. They're not going to blow all of their 25 to 30 million in cap space on one player. They're going to try and find 2 or 3 $10 million guys that can fill a role of surrounding Vic with shooters, because they need shooters. That's something that they lacked this year. Chetty Osman and Doug McDermott just didn't cut it for them as perimeter threats. Miguel Martinez on the YouTube live says he'd prefer Nick Batum over Trae Young. I think a lot of people would, especially after the game he just had. Fred Robert Caceres Jr., no on Trae Young. I think a lot of people are starting to wean on the idea of acquiring a Trae Young. Doesn't mean that they don't want them to still make a big move at some point. But I do think that there is the potential of them souring on the idea of giving up that much for an undersized guard that doesn't play much defense. And I think the Spurs, if you look at what their defense was this past season, you're looking for better defenders around Victor Wembanyama and probably Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson probably. I do think young guys and the way that they came together this season, I think it's something that they're going to try and do is run it again and see if that was fool's gold at the end of the year or not. It very well could have been. But as far as the playing goes, I've been a big fan of it to this point. I've enjoyed what I've seen, and now we've got a couple more elimination games tomorrow night as Chicago takes on Miami. But Miami did not have a great night as they lost by 1 to the 76ers, but that wasn't the biggest loss they suffered in that game. Jimmy Butler suffered a sprained MCL as he was fallen on by Kelly Oubre, and he is now out for several weeks, so he will not play in this all-important winner-go-home final playing game between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. And then the Bulls, they have DeMar DeRozan, who's a really good scorer, and Kobe White looked really good and has looked really good for the Chicago Bulls. They also got Nikola Vucevic. I think the Bulls probably advance in that one. And then we don't know if there's no Zion or not yet. I wouldn't just really tie my wagon to that, if you would, because it's a hamstring injury. It's a bigger guy that has dealt with a lot of injuries, especially soft tissue and ligament. So, and plus, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis, like they've got a squad. And remember, Sacramento was, I believe, the 2 seed last year. So I think Sacramento advances. I think Chicago advances. And those are going to be the last teams that punch their ticket into the postseason. And then it becomes, at least on the east side of things, about health. I mean, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is likely to miss some time, and at least the beginning of the series, if not all of it, for whoever they end up facing in the first round. And then no Jimmy Butler, so if Miami advances, that's an issue. If New Orleans advances with no Zion, that's an issue. I know they've got CJ McCollum. I know they got Brandon Ingram. I know a bunch of people love Herb Jones. But that's a team that is shorthanded without their star player, and it's stars, plural. You look at New Orleans missing Zion, you look at Jimmy, he's the guy, playoff Jimmy. It's all about Jimmy Butler in Miami. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, yes, they traded for Dame Lillard. Yes, they have Chris Middleton, but the Greek Freak is the guy that stirs the drink for that team. So these are big injuries as we head into the postseason for these teams. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, especially with a team like the New York Knicks, who are the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference right now. And that's going to be very, very intriguing to me because while I love Jalen Brunson and I love the grittiness of that Knicks team, I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. There are a couple of teams I don't really trust when you talk about moving forward into the postseason. I don't trust Cleveland. I don't really trust Orlando. I would like to trust Phoenix, but Phoenix has given me absolutely zero reason to trust them at all this year. Minnesota's played as good as anybody this year. But it's Minnesota. You know? It's Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. I love me some Ann Edwards. And Cat is who he is. I do like the 76ers. Like the Suns, Philadelphia 70s, I really like. Because I love me some Tyrese Maxey. I love Tyrese Maxey coming out of Kentucky. And of course, you got LeBron facing what seems like certain inevitability, which is the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets are probably my favorite team in this postseason in terms of just the team I trust the most. If I'm doing a confidence level, Denver's number one on my confidence level pecking order. The close second, and I know the stigma of them in the playoffs, but at least to get to a conference finals and possibly the NBA finals, Boston's just been so good this year. And I think it's because of who they've been in previous years, kind of a lot like the Cowboys. You just don't trust them because they've let you down so many times. But because this team was so incredibly dominant this year, the amount of double-digit wins that they had, I mean, they're in there with the likes of like the Bulls of the 90s. Like they have been dominant. The 73-win Warriors. And they play defense. So that's a team that I really like on the east side of things. So if I was calling my shot right this second, I know it feels chalkish, even though Denver's not the 1 seed. But Denver and Boston just feel like they're on a collision course right now. But KD, Beal, Booker, you cannot rule them out. That's what that team was built for. And if they get it going in the postseason, and remember, that's why Dame was brought in with the Milwaukee Bucks. So if they can get through this calf strain by Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they can kind of put things together in the postseason, it'll be very interesting, at least, I think, in the Eastern Conference when it comes down to the postseason picture and how it plays out. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I was talking about that Wemby interview. Well, I'm going to play some of it for you coming up next because Wemby had a ton to say. To give you context, out of that, most interviews, I probably pull 10 cuts-ish. Handful of them make the air. I pulled 30 cuts from that Victor Wembanyama interview. I found it fascinating. I found what he said with Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer intriguing, and probably going to break this down into a couple of different subsets, whether it's the roster building, the expectations moving forward, his first year kind of thoughts, and then playing with Pop. And then he had a couple of funny things that he said that I found really intriguing. I'm going to play most of that for you coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we're looking ahead to tonight's play-in games. The final 2 playoff spots are going to be taken. Plus, the NHL playoffs start this weekend. There's a lot going on. We're going to get into it, so make sure you meet us at 6 a.m. The Morning Huddle gets going. We'll see you there.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts. Until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPE LLC.
Hormones can affect everything: bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. You can follow me on X, Instagram, all that fun stuff, at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Thank you for listening. Of course, if you're listening on 94.1 or if you're on our YouTube channel, at SA Sports Star on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe. You can comment along, turn on the notifications. It's the way I like to watch the station. Morning, noon, and night. Allows me to seamlessly go in and out of my car. It Bluetooths to my car when I'm in there. I take it into the gym when I listen to the morning huddle with Rob and RJ. I'm a big fan of YouTube. Plus, it allows me the gratification of instant ability to react in the comments section. Or you can call in if you want it, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Fred Villarreal, I showed off my shirt on the YouTube channel. I'm wearing one of the Rupub El Alien shirts. It is a Rupub with kind of the Alamo facade. It's got Wemby with UFO over it and the beam coming down on him. And it's a very cool silhouette. Big fan of it. Plus, it's a comfortable shirt. Really good material. Fits just right. Like most shirts, like the sleeves fit weird on me. So I'm a big fan of like fit and form. And this one is fantastic. You can get it at the Rupub. 281 Redland Road. My home away from home. Actually, this is my home away from home. The Rupub would be my home away from here. And then there's home. So yeah, there you go. All makes sense in my head now. Frank Mateo, as we were talking about the NBA playoffs, which finish up, finalize tomorrow night. And then Saturday, we get to start the first round of the playoffs. So it's going to be a fun weekend. Great place to go check out the action is at the Rupub on those massive TVs that they have. Frank says Clippers Mavs could be the best series of the first round. I cannot disagree with that statement. I think the Clippers are a scary team, and I think the Mavs are a scary team. Luka and Kyrie kind of figured it out this year on and how to play together and how to play off of one another. And I think that's very, very, very dangerous. Fred Villarreal says Donovan Mitchell over Trae Young. Sure. If Cleveland's willing to part with him, count me in. I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm a fan. But, and this is important, is he a fit? Is he the right type of guy? And I say that because of what he was in Utah and now what he is in Cleveland. He's the alpha and the omega. He's the guy. So, will he be willing to take a secondary role? Could he be what Devin evolved into after the All-Star break? Because we saw it. This team, no matter who is in the starting lineup, functions at peak form when the game runs through Victor Wembanyama. And I say that in a bunch of different ways because there was a lot of things to deal with, but one of the things that in his hour-long interview with Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, he was talked about getting double-teamed a lot more and facing more double teams more and more throughout the year. And this is the beautiful thing about Victor Wembanyama and why the offense needs to run through him in a sense, because you can trust in Wembanyama to kind of make the right play. And we all know about the assist record that the Spurs broke this year and consecutive games with 20 plus assists as a team and whatnot. Well, he talked about facing those doubles. And this is when somebody's facing these doubles and a superstar most times will kind of figure out a way, like, I've got to figure out a way how to beat the double team. Well, Vic knows how to beat the double team.
I think it's not only for me, but I think it's great for the team that this happens because we're having a historical season in terms of passing because of those double teams, really, because the best way to find open shots is to make passes, when the defense decides to do this. So I'm thinking about the game in New Orleans, had some crazy good team plays, just because they were doubling every time. Let's keep doing that, let's keep eliminating one defender and we're gonna share the ball, and not everyone does this.
Not everyone does this. And he's right. Not everyone does this. A lot of teams, their stars take it upon themselves to be the everything for those teams. And I see a war going in the comments between multiple people about Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell. Manuel Mendoza, excuse me, says Trae Young and Jakob Poeltl would be a huge W if the Spurs can make those moves this offseason. Goldfinger 1, 2, 3. Mitchell will benefit, and that Mitchell would be a guaranteed triple-double with Wemby. I wouldn't guarantee a triple-double. You're talking about things that only Oscar Robinson and Russell Westbrook have done, which is average a triple-double for a season. I trust Wemby may get there one day. He's got that freakish skill set, but I like hearing that from him. And Victor Wembanyama went on more during this Ringer podcast, and a lot's made of him getting bullied at certain times. The two that come first and foremost to mind is the Joel Embiid game where he gave up 70-something, which, by the way, Vic didn't give up all those points. Vic was still on a minutes restriction at that point. So Collins, whoever you want, you can put the blame in a bunch of places. It wasn't all on Victor Wembanyama. Same goes for Alperen Sengun, because they see the clip of him backing him under the bucket and dunking it. They didn't take into account that, Alperen Sengun got the majority of those points against other guys guarding him and was held to an extremely low field goal percentage and also had 7 blocks on the night on Alperen Sengun. But why let facts get in the way of a good story, right? It makes he's not strong enough to compete as a 5 in the NBA. Well, Wemby was asked, obviously, by Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, if he needs to get stronger.
Almost everyone in the league, except this guy here, needs to get stronger. So it's yeah, of course I need to get stronger. But my biggest strength is I don't know. Very simply, I would say the versatility. Like being able to have multiple weapons, and to counter what the opponent's going to do.
And there's another thing, and they talked about it during the podcast, is his strength comes from his core. And he's not wrong. He's going to get stronger the older he gets. I don't want him to overbulk, because part of what makes him the freak that he is how he's able to move. And if you put too much weight on too fast, it takes away mobility in a sense. And it takes away maybe what he's able to do in the freakish ways that he does it and moves. Kevin Durant got stronger. He's a guy that couldn't bench the bar at the NBA draft combine. He got stronger. His body type remained the same, but he still got stronger. Because with age comes strength and also weight training and everything else that they're doing. But I don't think he needs to look like Giannis Antetokounmpo or worst fear Zion Williamson. He doesn't. He is a freak athlete. He is already extremely strong. He lives in the gym working out when he's not playing. And I think a lot of what he does with yoga and Pilates and keeping his flexibility and strengthening his core builds to his strength. So I'm not worried about Victor Wembanyama and how strong he needs to get. But he did talk about some other things in this podcast, some of which was going through an extremely difficult time this year and suffering more losses than he's ever suffered in his entire career. and he was asked what he thought the lowest point of this season was.
The lowest point? I mean, I would say very simply it's the long losing streak, because it was, there was a couple close games that we should have won. We could have, but we should have won them. And it's just, yeah, at some point you need to, there's so many shifts in, energy, because one moment you're so motivated to win, the group is so motivated to win and to finally end the streak, and then it's like, oh, we lose again. So, but like nobody collapsed under this, or nobody, starting being bad for the group, or being selfish. So I'm glad like we stuck together and we got over it, but it was definitely a tough point.
Growing together. And you mentioned together team. He's very, very much team oriented. Front office, like we all work together. Like front office, I trust them to do their job. We'll hear more about expediting this rebuild that we keep hearing about. But he was also asked about, you heard him talking about team and staying together. He talked about how that helped the team come together this season.
It's hard to keep a clear vision when you're, desperately trying to win a game. And but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied of the growth we had together this year.
Growth. We heard Jeremy Sohan earlier this week talking about growth. I do believe that they want this core together. I feel it in my bones. And unless the right piece comes along, I don't see them moving any of the core pieces that they have in their mind that are going to be a part of the long-term build of this team. And I think Devin's a piece of that, and I think Jeremy's a piece of that, and I know Victor is the marquee of all of that. More from Wemby with Kevin O'Connor on the Ringer podcast coming up next, because he had some things to say about playing with Pop, who he thought he was, expectations for this rebuild, and more. That's all coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
The John, what's going on in the Wolfpack?
What's he talking about here? He's talking about Asian.
It wasn't me that started that old crazy Asian war.
I mean, isn't that racist?
No, I think it was a crazy Asian war, was it not?
It was indeed.
It wasn't Oriental.
What would make it Oriental?
If they
Racism
fried
would
it
make it
with bell pepper and pineapple and added sweet and sour sauce, that would make it Oriental.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Favorite part, like the accountability. He doesn't care who you are, and whoever, you're a vet, you're a rookie, he's gonna treat you the same and tell you when you mess up.
He's gonna tell you when you mess up. That is Victor Wembanyama with his favorite part of Coach Popovich. But that wasn't the funniest answer he gave on Coach Popovich, because he thought playing for Coach Pop would be a very, very different thing.
I'd say easier, because I would think before meeting him, I would have thought he was like more of an not, but he's actually very very fair, and what we hear of Popovich, growing up, it's like like crazy coach and super super great coach, of course, and he's actually pretty fair, not there's some unfair coaches, but he's fair.
That is Victor Wembanyama on the Ringer NBA podcast with Kevin O'Connor. Did this great sit-down interview with him. And one of the things that they talked about was his and the team's improvement throughout the season. And I left the question to him because Kevin, such a great NBA mind, listed a litany of analytics and You learn in this interview, Wemby loves analytics. He loves them, eats them up. Kevin asked him about the growth from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year to the end of the year and the improvement, and then the improvements once he switched to playing the 5 full time, and his question about his improvement throughout the season along with his answer.
First 27 games of the season, the Spurs are a minus 8.6 when you were on the floor. And then that's when you move to the 5 full time. The 22 games after that until the All-Star break, minus 2.7, a little bit better. But then in the 22 games since the All-Star break, the Spurs have been a plus 2.4 with you on the floor. That season, I think, is unheard of. I know the wins have not always translated, but does that give you some level of confidence when you look ahead even to as soon as next season about what the team could be?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good improvement. And this is one more reason I'm satisfied with it this year. And as we said before, there's even more stuff to experiment and to develop defensively. But at least we have some info now on what we can do and what we do well.
See, he is aware of the numbers and the growth of the team and still thinks that it has further to grow. So he was asked by Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer on this NBA podcast about everyone talking ad nauseum, just like we are here. Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, like expediting the rebuild by going and getting a big ticket item. And what his expectations are now after his first year for if and when they should start pushing fast forward on this rebuild.
My expectations are, I mean, I trust the front office and the coaches, and but the truth is, I don't know. I've learned a lot this year, and we've gotten so much better from day one to 82nd game. But I don't know, and I'm sure like the coaches will let me know what are the new ways, the new roads of progression, we want to take. But I don't know. This is the only team I've ever known.
He doesn't sound like somebody who is going to be forcing the issue, and it doesn't sound like the Spurs have talked to him about pressing fast forward in any sort of way. And I find that very interesting because you hear him talk about how his body feels, and he feels like he kind of wasted part of a season with how well he played. And then I remember just how I would say even more than I am now, mature as a 19 and 20-year-old. He was asked about his pre-draft interview with JJ Redick, in which JJ asked him a question and Wemby gave him a profound answer. What he meant by that. And he is so mature for his age. But then he just managed to craftfully put this little nugget within there.
You said in an interview with JJ Redick last year that you're free in the universe. And JJ responded saying, "I wish I was free in the universe." And you said, "You are." What did you mean by that?
What did I mean by you are?
Yeah, the you are. The you are seemed profound to me. You are.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm not I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm just a human. But am I? No, like at the end of the day, I don't know. But I just think I just think we have all of us have a lot to accomplish, and I, you know, the goal for me in my life is to accomplish myself and to be a complete human being. I'm free to do what I want and what I need to do, and there's nothing that is going to stop me from doing so.
Did you catch it in there? Did you catch what the alien dropped in there? Because I got it for you if you missed it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm just a human, but am I?
I'm just a human. Or am I? But he was asked because of his that question and the way that he looks at things. He was asked by Kevin O'Connor, this doesn't seem natural for older people, much less somebody that was your age, 19, now 20. Have you always been wired this way, or was it learned?
Definitely wasn't. And as I said before, it's in the last years, 4 or 5 years, I've learned a lot about myself because I chose to face, all the truths, and because I do think like my environment growing up was great for this, and my experiences were great for developing my personality and my identity, really. That right now I feel like I'm immune to all the like I just feel like I'm immune to like the things people try to tell me, oh, pay attention to this, or watch out, all the bad things like
Distractions.
distractions, exactly, like partying, like alcohol, drugs, whatever. Like why would I ever do that?
Who doesn't love to hear that? He is immune to the distractions that surround him. And I believe it. I mean, this guy came in with about as much, if not more, fanfare than even LeBron James when he first came into the league, and how he was anointed as the next, not just the next, but possibly the next greatest of all time. A lot of people crumble under those kind of expectations because they hear the noise and feel an obligation to either live up to it or just crumble under the pressure of the weight that those expectations have. He doesn't let it faze him. And he goes on being exactly who he is. The Spurs got the best possible thing by winning the lottery last year and landing one Victor Wembanyama. Now it's beholden on the Spurs to build around him properly. And whether that's their way, the way we want them to, it doesn't matter which way. It only matters that that way is the right way. And only time can tell which process is really going to bear its fruit when it comes to that. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Leave the show on a little bit of a fun note. When we come back, I lose things. As a matter of fact, I just had a coworker lose something that I had to go find for him. But I don't think I've ever lost anything like this. Or maybe I have. I'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we're looking ahead to tonight's play-in games. The final 2 playoff spots are going to be taken. Plus, the NHL playoffs start this weekend. There's a lot going on. We're going to get into it, so make sure you meet us at 6 a.m. The Morning Huddle gets going. We'll see you there.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener. And it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get our SpringFest doorbusters while you can right now at Lowe's. Shop $5 spring cleaning must-haves from Scrub Daddy, Tide Simply, and more. Plus, save over $1,000 on the LG Smart Top Load laundry pair. Was $22.98, now $12.96. These limited time deals are going fast, so shop them in-store and online today. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows savings. Offer valid through 4/22. Appliances pricing includes all discounts while supplies last.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it. And at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into Extra Angel Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and SASportsStar.com. Also, watch us on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. Now, New Heights podcast is one of my favorite podcasts. It's just highly entertaining. And Jason Kelsey has apparently got some Rob Thompson in him in terms of losing things everywhere he goes. Only this time he lost something extremely important, his Super Bowl ring.
After that event, we went right to Jason lost his ring, where we had a full vat of Skyline chili. God. This is actually technically a three-way. It's not just Skyline chili. There's spaghetti in there, cheese, and chili. The video does not do justice just how disgusting this was.
I had to get away from that corner.
I went to Skyline twice over the weekend. I love Skyline chili. This chili had been sitting out for like some time period.
It smelled so bad in that part of the arena.
Mixed into that chili were socks with make-believe rings, and then there's actually only one real ring in there, which was my Super Bowl ring that they had to try and find. One in each pool, but there was an unfortunateness. As you guys know, this game existed because still knows this, but I legitimately lost my Super Bowl ring in this event. They could not find it. This is Jets Jake searching through the chili to try and find the sock that had my Super Bowl ring in it. We have still yet to find it.
What did you expect to happen?
I thought that we would just go in the pool and get the ring afterwards.
You're such a imbecile.
Greg got a metal detector. There's actually metal in Skyline chili. There's traces of iron within the chili itself. So it's an impossible task to try and use a metal detector.
That's so good.
There's probably lead as well in there somewhere. It's just a hunk of metal. I'll just have another one made, I think. They can do that, right?
I don't know, Jason. Probably.
Guess we're going to find out.
Okay. So, not as flippantly nonchalant about losing something, but I have lost something of similar type importance as he has lost. And it's a god-awful feeling. I had my dad had a necklace, and it was a gold necklace, and the number 5 was encrusted in diamonds. And he got it when he turned 55. It was his double nickel birthday. And he wore it for a long time, and then I started playing sports. He gave it to me to wear, and after he passed, I just continued to wear it. But I lost it at a cross-Canadian ragweed concert at Floor's Country Store. It got ripped off my neck somewhere, never to be seen again. And sentimental value, all that stuff, not quite the same as blatantly putting it in harm's way, but it was kind of blatantly in harm's way because I was at a concert wearing a very expensive piece of jewelry around my neck that, when you're drinking, you won't feel it when it gets ripped off. So, Jason, you're not alone. We've all lost.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports after hurting his right knee against the Sixers last night, Miami Heat guard Jimmy Butler is expected to be out for several weeks. The Sixers won that game to lock up the 7 seed, but our Tim Legler isn't sure Philadelphia can make a playoff run.
The way Maxi's played all year and some of the new pieces they've added, man, this is the biggest challenger to the Boston Celtics. And a healthy Embiid, I still believe that. He's not healthy. He's not right. It's obvious to me last night. And I think that gives the Knicks great hope that now they have a diminished Sixers team that's going to give them a good shot with home court advantage.
Tim Legler on Unsportsmanlike. Browns GM Andrew Berry